Welcome to the Real Estate Niche Show, a show that focuses on top real estate professionals who specialize in different niches of real estate. My name is Ben Kogut. Join me as we dive deep into the professional and personal lives of the experts of the real estate industry. Welcome to the Real Estate Niche Show. I'm your host, Ben Kogut, and today we have a very special guest. Charlie Wessel is with us. He's the founder of Cordell Capital. Charlie has also founded and managed several successful companies in the Charleston, South Carolina area. He's been involved in the multifamily and commercial real estate industry in one aspect or another since 2006, so he's got a lot of experience. He's an active investor, and he set up Cordell Capital to bring private equity to investment opportunities. We're going to dig into that. Charlie, welcome to the show. Is there anything in your bio that I missed that you'd like to mention?
I got a wonderful wife of 20 years and twin 8-year-old girls and a 12-year-old son. So life is good, man.
That's so wonderful. What a blessing to hear about all that. Awesome. Yeah. So this is the Real Estate Niche Show. Let's dive into it. What is your real estate niche and how'd you get into it?
We raise capital for sponsors deals. And I got into it by finding out all the other aspects of this business that I did not want to do. And just kind of narrowed it down from there.
Okay. So what was, tell us more, a little bit more about that. What were you doing that you didn't love? And then how'd you get into this?
Right. Well, we spent about 2 years underwriting deals, in between 1.5 years, 2 years, underwriting deals and going to tour properties and meeting with brokers. And, we were throwing out LOIs and we, we made it to the best and final in a handful of those deals. We actually got awarded one of them and it fell apart in due diligence. And I was like, you know what? I'm letting somebody else do all this. And I'm just going to go try to raise capital and bring some capital to the deals and kind of bring another aspect of investor relations to that part of the whole gamut of operations,
Got it. So is this the strategy where you're trying to create a fund of funds, or you're trying to create a fund, bring some LPs together, manage that, and then select other sponsors to partner with? Is that more or less what you're talking about?
Yeah, we haven't run with the fund-to-fund model yet. Right. As of now, we're just bringing in the capital. And I've talked to several people, and I think we're going to implement the fund-to-funds as soon as we get back from LA. We're going to a conference in LA, and I'm pretty sure we'll be implementing that when we get back. But as of today, we're in 5 deals, and we brought capital to the table, and we've managed some of the investor relations portion of those deals as well.
Nice. You're talking my language. That's what I do, investor relations and raising capital. And so when you are looking for deals to invest in, what is it that you're specifically looking for?
Well, we know multifamily. So as of now, we've been kind of focused on multifamily. We are going to start to spread out to some different asset classes this year. We're even looking at a hunting preserve up in here in South Carolina.
Okay.
It's kind of a high end, hunting preserve for people to come and rent these nice big cabins and, all that good stuff. But anyway, so.
Hey, that's a real estate niche I haven't talked about on the Real Estate Niche Show. So definitely keep me posted on if that goes forward, because I'd love to hear about how to syndicate and raise capital for a hunting reserve, which sounds like is it like a hospitality or a Airbnb or just kind of its own category?
It does fall more in the hospitality side of it, which some of the guys that that brought it to my attention are in hospitality. So, I don't want to do anything that nobody's done before yet. Hopping into something like that, it's kind of that scares me. But these guys, they have a background in hospitality. So as long as they can, help run the operations of it and make sure somebody's there with, all the guns they need and all the birds they need,
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like that could be a really interesting opportunity for what I love about the syndication business is that it really gives normal people an opportunity to invest in bigger deals that they might not be able to invest on their own. And so it makes perfect sense. Like there's plenty of people that would say, hey, I'd love to be an owner or an investor in a hunting reserve or this or that or whatever it ends up being. If only I knew a way how to do that. And so sounds like that's a niche that you're pursuing potentially as well. So that's pretty cool.
And we think that we could use that to actually grow our investor base as well. I mean, it's here in South Carolina, it's quail and pheasant hunting and sporting clays course and, all that good stuff. So, we could definitely take some investors up there and have a good time.
Nice. That sounds super fun. Awesome. So let's kind of want to pivot backwards a little bit to a conversation that you and I had right before we hit the record button, which was some of the lessons learned that have shaped the path and the journey that you're on right now. And so would you mind sharing with us a little bit about maybe some of the lessons learned from some of the challenges that have occurred on your investment journey?
Yeah. So, like I said, we did get awarded one deal out of 15, best and finals that we made it to. And then on that one deal, we actually found, I'm pretty sure I'm using the right word here, but it's polybutylene piping throughout the apartment complex. And when they went and looked in it, it was going to have to be replaced. And the owner didn't bring that to our attention. We'd already put, money down on the place, and we were in our due diligence when we found it, and it was going to be like I think it was right around $350,000 repair. Mm-hmm. And that just killed the deal. Killed the deal. And we were just so bummed about it because we've been looking for properties for so long. Now we were probably, we have always leaned on the very conservative side of things because I've just always wanted to, under promise and over deliver on every deal that we do. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, if we hit it on the mark, then we messed something up, if we do that. So I think we might've been a little too cautious in our underwriting because we just weren't getting any of these deals, but it's still, we're still very conservative. It's just, we've narrowed the path a little bit, but you just have to really dig into these properties because one thing like that you miss and it could really piss off a lot of investors, which is that's our lifeblood of all the deals.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, taking care of investor capital. That's the name of the game. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so I guess we'll pivot again. And another topic that I love to talk about is raising capital. And part of that, I'm sure, is I've seen your social media posts. Tell me, what's the strategy behind that? How do you do it? And any tips for people with that?
So we post every day on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and sometimes multiple times a day, depending on what we have going on. But anything that looks like it came from me, it probably came from me because it doesn't have a bunch of hashtags on it and stuff. But anything other than that, most of the posts that we do, my virtual assistant will line up these posts in a program called Canva, and she'll find these great posts and everything and make all the artwork and everything. And then she puts them in a folder, and I go through that folder and I either approve it or I'll change it, I'll edit the wording some or something like that. And then I slide them all over into the approved folder. And she's got content for the next year to post. I mean, it's really a great way to do it. And it's been well worth the amount of money that I've paid for the virtual assistant. And she's been with me it'll be 2 years in February. So she's done a phenomenal job.
That's awesome. And for those that are wondering, how did you go about finding that virtual assistant?
I got mine through Rocket Station. And Rocket Station is a phenomenal tool to use for guys that are looking for a virtual assistant. I didn't even know that I needed one. I just heard everybody on their podcast talking about how everybody needs a virtual assistant. There's things that you do that you shouldn't be doing that are taking up valuable time. Mm-hmm. So when I called them, they basically give you an interview and they, pull out stuff that you're doing in your current day that, somebody else could be doing. So we had an interview with about 5 or 6 different people, and that's how I found Mafi.
Nice. Curious, where's your VA based?
She's in the Philippines.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. Shout out to the Philippines who will also be doing our editing here.
That's God bless them. God bless them. I tell you.
God, amen to that. Awesome. So let's kind of keep moving forward. I love to learn a little bit more about you and your background, and either professionally or personally. How does it that you like to invest in yourself?
I really enjoy. I'm a member of the Raise Masters Mastermind, and I really enjoy learning by being in a community of people. A community of like-minded people where we can get together and share ideas, and, people are trying things out and sharing what worked, what didn't work. And, I'm doing the same thing. And now I think it's about up to 110 members. And I was actually the first one to sign up with Adam.
Nice. Shout out to Adam Carswell.
Adam Carswell, awesome. Buddy. He is the man for sure.
He is.
But, yeah, so I invest in myself in that way, and in reading books. And while I was on a webinar earlier today that Logan Freeman and FTW they put out active versus passive investing, and it's just little you can grab little nuggets from stuff like that to then share with your investors. I mean, it's not that I don't know the difference between active and passive investing. I just, you're going to pick something up along the way on everything that you do. And I mean, if I'm in my truck and my kids aren't in it and we're not listening to kids' music, then I'm listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Makes sense. I'm the same way. I listen to a lot of podcasts, try to show up at a lot of these different conferences and read as many books as I can. So that all checks out. The next question, of course, is how do you like to invest in the community?
We have a place here called the Low Country Pregnancy Center, and they minister to young women that are pregnant. And so we give them a pile of money every year. We love their ministry, and, we're members of our local church. It's not a denominational church. And so we do a lot of outreach programs through them as well, where we'll go and set up have a big tailgate party out out off Rivers Avenue here in Charleston or something. And so that's great. And we involve our kids in that as well. And they really enjoy, doing that. So, yeah.
Sounds like a really worthwhile endeavor. So congrats on that. Charlie, how would you like to, how do you define the word success?
I tell you, now that I'm older and have a lot more gray hair, success to me is more happiness and less stress in life. So that comes with my family. I mean, we have 3 wonderful kids. I don't even know how they got to be so wonderful, because I was never that wonderful as a kid. I was one of 5 boys, and I'm telling you, we were holy terrors, man. But, my kids, they're great kids. I got a wonderful wife who I've been married to for 20 years. I surround myself with good people, man, and that's success, is happiness in life for sure. I know that's kind of
Happiness in
cliche
life.
or whatever, but
Yeah, I get all sorts of different answers, but that's definitely an answer that I've heard before, and I appreciate hearing it again and again, because it just kind of helps it sink in for me that that's really truly what success is.
It is.
Finding
That's
happiness.
what matters. The rest of this stuff we do here fills time and fills a bank account. You know, it really doesn't. You know, it doesn't have the doesn't hold the amount of success definition as happiness in life. So.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious, aside from the Raise Masters, and then now we're going to the Intelligent Investors Real Estate Conference. We're recording this here in January of 22, although this will probably be aired at least a couple months from now, by the way. But are there any other conferences or any other groups that you're involved in?
Well, I went to Old South, their conference in Dallas this past year. I kind of took a couple of years off from the conferences. I started off my entire real estate career with Michael Blanc and his conferences back in 2017 and 18. And so I went to a few of those, and then this one, and went to Austin with Raise Masters, and now out to LA. That should be a good time. But yeah, I don't make the circuit like a lot, like Adam. Adam Carswell goes to a lot of conferences, but I don't go to that many conferences, Got
it. Yeah. I go to my fair share of conferences.
I bet. Yeah. I bet.
That's awesome. Are there any other words of wisdom or advice that you have for anybody that might be interested in either being an investor or pursuing the niche that you're in, or any of the above?
Just read a lot of books. Doesn't even have to be, it helps if they are, business related, but they don't have to be. Just keep the brain moving, man. Keep the brain moving.
Any books in particular that come to mind?
Well, you know what, man, right now I'm reading a book. Doesn't even have anything to do with real estate. It's called Saving My Assassin. And it's this little lady that grew up over in Eastern Europe under this big dictator, and just all the hardships they went through, and somebody shows up to kill her and she leads them to the Lord. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man, I read, different kinds of books, but yeah, it's been a really good book so far.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. And as we're kind of winding things down a little bit, what if someone wanted to get a hold of you? What would be the best way for someone to reach out to you? And we'll put anything you say here in the show notes. Yeah,
Charlie Wessel on LinkedIn or Cordell Capital, or LinkedIn or Facebook. Yeah, that's a good way to get us. Or you can go on our website, Cordell Capital. Cordell has 2 L's at the end, and sign up for our newsletter there, or just shoot me a message. You can find my email address on our website.
Got it. And curious, what is Cordell Capital? What's the origin of that name?
Cordell was my grandmother's name. And she just basically lived like a pauper her whole life and left money to the family whenever she passed away. So, I mean, they still lived a pretty good life, but she was always, pinching pennies. I mean, she would drive from Florence, South Carolina to Sumter, South Carolina to go shop at the commissary twice a month just to save money.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, nah, I don't know. We get our groceries delivered to our door now, from the grocery store. So, but if we can treat our investors' money like that, be good stewards of their money and return a lot more in the end, then we've been successful in business.
Well, those are some tried and true core values that Grandma Cordell instilled in you, and thanks for sharing all that wisdom that that you've learned along your journey, and for sharing that with me and with the audience. And on that note, I think we're gonna wrap things up. And so, if there's any other parting words, now's your chance. And if not, we'll see you in Los Angeles.
Yeah, no, see you in Los Angeles, man. It's gonna be fun. We'll have a couple of drinks.
I'm in. All right. Well, thanks again, Charlie. And that'll be a wrap for today's episode of the Real Estate Niche Show.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Estate Niche Show. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me or the show, you can follow me on Instagram at Ben Kogut and at The Real Estate Niche Show. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.